Okay, very good. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Ian Gordon. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm just one of the Grange members here. Welcome to the Pleasant Grove Grange. This is the building's 100th year. We're going to be celebrating it this year. And so we're here for the forum for the candidates of our county commission. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly introduce all the candidates using information that they provided. And then after that, there'll be 5 minutes, maximum 5 minutes for each candidate to tell you what it is they intend to accomplish while they're in office if they're elected. And then after that, I've got 2 questions that came from Grange members. We've got 2 questions that we're going to ask all the candidates to answer. And then at the end, we're going to open it up to everybody to ask any question you want within decorum. So, and with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So we'll start with the position 2 candidates, and I'm going to take them in alphabetical order here. Donna Beveridge was born, Donna, can you raise your hand there? Donna Beveridge was born and raised in Union County and loves where she lives and loves the people here. She and her husband are ranchers and raised 4 children, knowing how to work hard, and she promises to do that for you. Donna was honored to be elected to serve the people of Union County in November of 2016 and made a promise to serve all of Union County. So Mrs. Beveridge says she's willing and able to serve the people of Union County again. Donna currently serves Union County as a board member of the Union County Chamber. She's president of the Union Chamber and president of the Catherine Creek Community Center. She would love to meet with anyone, anytime, to hear your concerns or suggestions. Thank you, Donna, for coming today. Next, I'll introduce Rosa Rice. Rosa is a lifelong Union County resident, born in LeGrand and raised in Union. She has spent more than 10 years working as a property manager, helping renters, homeowners, and small businesses navigate housing and economic challenges. Rosa is running for county commissioner to bring a fresh perspective, strengthen transparency in local government, and ensure that all communities across Union County are heard and represented. Thank you for coming today, Rosa. And Matt Scarfo is currently serving as the Union County Commissioner for position 2. He was first elected in 2018 and re-elected in 2022. A LeGrand resident for over 3 decades, Mr. Scarfo is also a small business owner, operating 2 downtown businesses for more than 2 decades. During his time in office, he is focused on infrastructure improvements, economic development, and strengthening partnerships across the county and state. He previously served as president for both the Union County Chamber of Commerce and the LeGrand Main Street downtown, and he remains active in the community through service organizations like Sunrise Rotary. Matt is seeking another term to continue addressing key issues including housing, behavioral health, and public safety. Thanks for coming. So those were our candidates for the position 2. Now I'm going to introduce the candidates for position 1, starting with Corey Miller. Corey is a lifelong Union County resident and graduated from EOU in 2004. He's an ISA certified arborist and was a utility specialist with his family's business, Miller's Tree Service. He transitioned to sawmill operations and custom woodworking after being elected to OTEC's Board of Directors position. Mr. Miller also serves on the Wallowa Union Railroad Authority Board and Budget Committee, and is chairman of the Union County Hospital Facility Authority. These are mouthfuls. And as a board member of the EOU Alumni Association. Thanks for coming, Corey. Oh, I forgot to mention, Corey and his wife Kim will be celebrating 25 years of marriage this summer. And they have a couple of teenage boys. And Corey's hobbies include camping, hiking, fishing, motorcycle riding, cooking, barbecue, and enjoying time with friends and family. And then our final candidate, the other candidate for position 1, is Mark Simmons. So Mark has lived in Union County for 54 years, 47 of that married to his wife Joni. They're proud grandparents of 12. Mr. Simmons served a number of years as our representative for District 58 in the Oregon House. And he spent one term as the Speaker of the Oregon House. He also served as director of the USDA Rural Development Program in Oregon during the Bush Jr. administration. So thanks for coming. So those are candidates. In just a minute, this is the commercial part. So for the Grange, just want to mention we're a nonpartisan group, and you know we've got everyone from old hippies to militia members as part of our Grange. So you know, and our objective is to help support and preserve rural communities, and in particular for us, Somerville and Embler. And so that's who we are. If you want to know more about the Grange, all the Grange members, please raise your hand, and you can ask any of them more about what we do. And on the school teacher's desk in the back corner, some propaganda, so you can read more about the Granges in general and ours in particular. And just mention, if you like the lunch, please consider giving if you haven't already, given a donation. $8 for 60 and over, and or for 60 and under, and is that right? $8 for under 60, $5 for over 60. Did I get that? Something like that. Anyway. All right. So what I'm going to do now is ask the candidates to come up in the reverse order that I introduced them, to stand here at the lectern. And Mr. Brent Clapp, he's recording all this for EOA TV. And so we got the microphone here, so that's why I asked you to come up here and speak. And they've got 5 minutes, and Martin here, my buddy, he's going to, at 4 minutes and 40, he's going to start flashing that flashlight to warn them their time's about up. And if they get to 5 minutes and I have to stand up, we'll all know that they're just a big talker. So anyway, so I guess that's enough of me. Mr. Simmons, would you please come on up? And
thank you, Ian, for putting this on today. I appreciate the opportunity to come and share a few thoughts with all of you. When I was a Speaker of the House, you elected me to the legislature for 3 terms, and while I was there, I delivered the funding for the science building remodel at the college and expansion. I delivered the money for the railroad tracks to keep that down into Wallowa County, and a little bill that was important to me. We found that the American flag had been taken out of a lot of classrooms, and the kids were not being given an opportunity to say the Pledge of Allegiance each day. So we passed a little bill that said you put the American flag back in the classrooms and give the kids a chance to say the Pledge of Allegiance each day. Then when I was state director for rural development, it's kind of an unknown agency. It's not a big flashy deal, but it has the ability down here to build a whole town. And I financed the hospitals, the new hospital in Enterprise and Burns. And the fire station in Elgin was rural development money. And then the agency I took over had 82 people when I started, and was bringing about $110 million of value to the state of Oregon each year. Now, Oregon is a net donor state to the federal treasury, and that was important to me, an opportunity to increase what we get back. So over my 4 years, I increased the amount of money that agency was bringing into the state from 110 average to 330 million a year, and reduced the staff down to 70 from the 82 that we had started with. So that's just a little bit of background on my experience. I love this place. I've been here since 73. The beauty of it, the people, the culture we have of caring for what we have here. We want some growth, but not too much. We never want to see this place become Bend. And I want to help solve local problems. For example, volunteerism is at an ebb. People aren't stepping up and volunteering. Consequently, our local fire departments are having a hard time recruiting and training new firefighters. So why don't we support some efforts that are rumbling around out there to begin teaching our high school juniors and seniors how to be structural firefighters? They can get certified at age 18. Teach them that, teach them how to be an EMT as well, and provide them a benefit of having a skill that they could use to get employed when they get out of high school, and give us a benefit of a pool of potential firefighters. Because Elgin, Imbler, Cove, Union, the alternative is raise taxes and hire professionals. And I don't want to see that. It's part of the rural culture that we have, is we have a volunteer fire system. So that's something I would like very much to work on. I'd like some modest growth. We need some workforce housing. I'd like to help crack that nut. And I found that this position is not really well understood by the public, indicated by the fact that there was a 2,000 vote undervote in the last county commission race. Then, there were 2,000 more people that selected a sheriff and a president than selected a county commissioner, because they don't understand what influence this position can have. And so I think we need to expect more. I think we need to have some evening meetings so the public can come out and participate instead of always having it in the morning, and more communication with the constituents, the people of the county, asking them to come get involved in the decisions that are being made on their behalf here in Northeast Oregon. It's a job that pays $85,000 a year. And if all we're going to have is local administrators for the governor, we don't need to be paying them that much. We don't need to be paying them that much. So I would advocate, I think, when we get in, I want to run one term. That's my goal, one term. I'll be 70. If I'm elected, I'll be 70 years old when I get elected or sworn in. And I don't want to be doing this when I'm 76. So, I got a good life. We've got the 12 grandkids. We've got horses and mules. We go to the mountains. And we have a lot of other projects. And like I say, I think I have something to contribute. I think I have valuable experience to bring to bear on behalf of Union County. And I would appreciate your support very much. So, I had a client. I was negotiating grass seed prices, and that ended yesterday. So I am free. And I am happy to support things for you, working with you, and I would suggest you vote no on the gas tax. Thank you.
Mr. Miller.
Hello. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. I had no idea this was 100 years old. That's a great accomplishment to have it be in this kind of shape after all that time. I've lived here my entire life. I've been telling people my kids are the 6th generation of our direct line that have been Union County residents. I figured today what I would tell you more about what I am doing, not so much about what I'm going to do. Literally, as short as just today, I'm working with both Farm Bureau and EOU to get the ag entrepreneurship some representation for the Ag and Timber Parade. There's got to be some collaboration there from those two entities, and for me, stepping into the role at the alumni board and seeing kind of where the gaps were from community support for the university. Having a university in our town is not something that we should take lightly. These kids, I did 110 or 111 scholarship reviews this year for some of these kids, and probably 10 to 12% of the ones that I read were from this ag entrepreneurship program. It's a newer program, and we have a lot of producers here in the valley that really aren't aware of what's going on out there. And if they could read what these kids said about coming here to learn, to go back to generational farms and help with things that maybe have been lacking, the knowledge on the newer regulations and how to use computers and technology to advance their farm and ranch activities. I think they would be very interested in lending a hand and helping to craft this next generation of farmers and ranchers. Aside from that, this morning I was talking with some connections through Oregon Trail Electric about our Elgin Opera House. Elgin gifted the Opera House to the nonprofit. Unfortunately, that building's kind of the gift that keeps on giving, because there's plumbing issues now, and their insurance costs are $37,000 a year because of this faulty plumbing. With their budget paying that insurance, they will never get to the point where they can fix this plumbing. And so through the co-op, we're a non-for-profit ourselves. We have no skin in the game, but we have resources for grant writing and things like that, so we can be a conduit to helping them figure out ways to get that funded without breaking the bank. That cycle, I could just see their writing on the wall with that. They will never be able to get out from under that without help. At a bare minimum, through the USDA Red Leg loan program that OTEC participates in, we have a revolving loan fund there that we can deploy for projects like that at very low interest to help them get out from under that. They're a unique business because they are able to put on shows if they need to, if they can get the support from the kids. But these are the entities that we need to lean into as a community. They are very unique to us, and it takes a long time to stand something like that up. I don't know if people really appreciate fully how special it is to have the excursion train, the opera house, the university, the small manufacturing like Barretto manufacturing that we have here in the valley. We take some of that stuff for granted. I think bringing those entities together to make sure we're supporting them properly, not spending extra funds working on the same issues in two different parts of the county. So yeah, it's going to be meeting people where they are, using the experience from the organizations that I'm already affiliated with. So win, lose, or draw, these things that I've talked about today, I will continue working on them, whether I'm your county commissioner or not. But if you vote me in as a commissioner, I will have a lot more resources and a lot more connections available to me to fast track some of this. So thank you.
Commissioner Scarf? So the previous two candidates were for position one, and starting now, the next three would be position two.
Position 2, that's correct. Good evening, Pleasant Grove Grange Hall, 475. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I also would like to acknowledge the other elected official in the room, Sheriff Cody Bowen. Thank you very much for being here. I don't know if Corey brought it up. He's the other elected official, OTEC board. You should have used that, Corey. Anyway, I want to recognize my family, my wife Lynn and my son Luke. Luke is at school right now, or you better be. Lynn is actually outside in her car on a Zoom call with the hospital. She works here at the Grand Run Hospital in Pendleton. So she was here earlier, and hopefully she comes in and sees the rest of my speech. So, starting things off, hopefully today is the day. Please let today be the day. I've talked to like 1,000 people here in the last month and a half, not just from Union County, but across the state. And the number one question on everyone's mind, why do you have opponents? I have no idea. I have not heard that answer questioned yet from either two of my opponents. We have an open seat. Open seat means that Commissioner Anderson does not wish to run again. So we all know, most of us know if you really want to be an elected official, you usually go for the open seat. When you go after the incumbent, you better say why, how bad this guy's doing, and how I can do it better day one. If it's day 2, day 3, day 500, that's Union County taxpayers' dollars getting them trained up. So I have not heard that yet. Everyone keeps asking me that. I'd sure love to hear that answer today. No one's really brought it to their attention. So I'd like to go through a couple endorsements that I have. They're very, very important and very telling. I'm the only one that has State Representative Bobby Levy's endorsement and Senator Todd Nash endorsement, along with our Sheriff, Cody Bowen. Thank you very much, Sheriff, for that. So it's very telling. So a couple of accomplishments that I have done. Union County Fairgrounds, anyone hear about that? 30, no one's heard about the, oh, I was like, what? It's in the paper, it's on the news. Fantastic. I came here 8 years ago. I really thought Donna and Paul were going to take the liaison to the fair because I've never done 4-H, I've never done FFA. I didn't, I never even raised animals. And so I said, hey, I'll take over the fair. Because 8 years ago, we were in rough shape. 30-year problem, don't have running water, don't have bathrooms, we have porta pots out there. So I was like, how can we justify this in our community? We got to figure this thing out. So first term, everyone know what happened during my first term? I had 1 year to learn how to do the job. The next 3 years was COVID. I had 3 years of COVID, and I was liaison for public health. So learning how to do the job, I drank through six hoses trying to figure this thing out. It was horrible. So finally, I got reelected my second term. I'm like, I need to focus on the Union County Fairgrounds. $4.7 million later, we're doing it. I just finished with a $2.5 million last year. I got through legislation. I'd love to thank every legislator that has met with me. I don't have enough time. Martin, how much time we got? Oh my gosh. All right, I gotta hustle. And thank you for serving lunch, and your son also. Ian works for me at Benchwarmers. If you don't know where Benchwarmers is at, it's right next to Long Branch. You see how I did that? Anyway, I don't have much time. So, East Orward Livestock Show, Cassie Miller and I, we been working on funding for the East Orward Livestock Show. We had a bill this year. It did not pass, but we got a consolation prize of $1 million to go to the stock show grounds. Very, very needed for emergency services and the like. Blue Mountain Translator District, who uses the TV antennas and all that. Just got them $840,000 this year for that. We also uncapped the fairgrounds funding for the operational revenue that we'd get from the state. $83,000, that was what we received from the state. Last year we got it bumped up to $73,000. We just got it passed. And a commissioner, a friend of mine, said, Matt, you're not going to guess how we just got that passed. I said, no, please tell me. He goes, the powers that be at our state capitol, I've been in their office many, many a times, said, give them the 1%. I do not want to hear about fairgrounds ever again. What that boils down to is from $53,000 a year, just not for Union County, but across our state, to $270,000 a year for operating revenue. So these are just not our fairgrounds. These are our emergency service areas, our evacuation sites. So the other thing, real quick, I want to bring up, I'm about to get flashed. My other opponents said, hey, I fall in line with position number 2 with the liaisons and all that. I could have a meeting, we could have a meeting next week, change all of the liaisons. They're not set in stone. So position 2, my position, yes, behavioral health, mental health, all that. No, we could change them next week. Was that it? The final?
You're right there.
All right. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll try to be the last person out of this room today. Any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Ms. Rice?
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. And thanks for hosting. It's a great crowd. I am Rosa Rice. I'm running for position 2. I grew up in Union County, was born in La Grande, went to school in Union, went away for a little bit and came back because family asked and because this is home. And this is where I want to build family and build community. And for the past 10 years, I've been property manager in La Grande. So I've worked with families, renters, homeowners, small businesses, seeing the struggles. You know, we're all struggling and affordability issues, but I see those every day. And I work with agencies regionally, locally, to find solutions for my renters, for my homeowners, for my clients, and it's very important to me. And that is why I have chosen to run, is to get to serve more people and to get to serve the whole community. And I do want to do, well, a lot of things, but I'm going to focus on 3 things if elected. increasing transparency and trust in local government. We deserve as voters to understand how decisions are getting made, and we deserve to feel like our voices are being heard and that our votes matter. And I feel like sometimes that doesn't happen, and that we don't have good communication or good access to information from the county. So I'd like to improve that, increase the accessibility of information. Mark also mentioned wanting to do evening meetings. I would definitely like to see evening meetings and have them rotate around the county. This seems like a great place to host a commission meeting every once in a while, and all the other small communities deserve that as well. I grew up in Union, so I have seen how the larger communities kind of take precedence, or at least we feel like they do. And so we need to make sure that all of our small communities feel heard all the time and are a part of the conversations. And EOU and LeGrand is important to bringing in tourism and bringing in the economics, but we don't want to forget about the smaller communities. They are the heart of Union County. The ranchers, the farmers, the manufacturers, small business, they are the backbone, and they deserve leadership that works with them, listens to them, and makes them feel heard. And I am not a career politician. I don't want to do this forever, certainly not for more than 8 years, really. I'm with Mark. I think 4 is probably going to be enough. I want to work hard for the whole community, do what I can to bring extra funding, and just bring us together and encourage new leadership. I am hoping that people see me run and think, well, maybe I can do it too. Maybe I can get involved too. There's no reason not to have new people and new voices bringing their energy and perspectives to Union County. And that's what I hope to do. I hope to serve everyone, to listen and collaborate with every community. And I just hope to get to work for all of you. And please vote for me so I can serve the county.
Thank you, Ms. Rice. Mrs. Beveridge.
Hi there. Thanks, everybody, for coming, and thank you for hosting. So I'm Donna Beveridge, running for position 2. I want to thank you for attending, and it's neat to see how many people are here that really care about Union County and its future. I've had the honor of serving as your county commissioner from 2017 to 2024, and I've always had a desire and a passion to serve the public. I want to address something directly. I followed the term limits that the voters set. I stepped aside when my time was up, and I had nothing to do with overturning the term limits.
I hate to interrupt. Could you speak up just a little bit louder?
Absolutely.
Mrs. Beveridge?
Yeah. I've never had anybody tell me that before, so yeah. Okay. I said I want to address something directly. I followed the term limits set. I stepped aside when my time was up, and I had nothing to do with overturning the term limits that the voters passed. I am running now because this moment calls for accountability and steady leadership, and I've had many constituents approach me and ask me to run again. When I served before, I worked hard to listen to the public, I studied the issues, and represented you by serving on many committees at the state and the federal level. I did the homework necessary to understand each issue as it comes up, and believe me, you never know from day to day what issue is going to come up. So my goal is always to listen to all sides and before I make a decision. I did not let and will not let politics enter into any decision that I make. I will continue to work to make Union County safe and desirable place to live. This includes using our tax money wisely and fighting for PILT and SRS funding at the federal level. This funding is used for our roads and for our schools. When I first started, I didn't realize how important that was, and Commissioner McClure said, Donna, you need to go to Washington, D.C. to fight for that. It's payment in lieu of taxes, where we used to log and now we don't log anymore. So it's a small amount that we get from the federal government in lieu of logging. But that really helps with our roads and our schools. So that's something that we have not got continual funding on. We have to fight for it every year. I have worked with many individuals and agencies to put together a water plan, which included storage, and I'm hoping to be able to assist in implementing that plan. We were the first ones to do it. We were the only group in Oregon that finished on time and finished on budget, and I would like to be able to implement. I always tell people, if you're from Eastern Oregon, we don't like to go to meetings unless we can actually implement something. We're not there just to waste our time. In a diverse county, we are not dependent on one type of business. A strong economy depends on trust and fairness. Business owners and taxpayers need to know that I will support and serve them, no exceptions. Where Corey was talking about EOU and our manufacturing, our agriculture, we have compared to Baker County and Wallowa County, we have so many different businesses and jobs. We're very fortunate in that way. Nothing that the commissioners do we do by ourselves. Anything that I do, if you look at my list of accomplishments on my Facebook page or anything I give you, I didn't do any of it by myself. There's a team of people. We had the business park that was empty when I got there, and it was full when I left, but I had to work with Business Oregon and ODOT, and we partnered together. And at the end, all three commissioners decide on final decisions. We're each a liaison to different things, and like Matt said, that can change at the beginning of the year. So at the beginning of the year, the three commissioners to get together and we decide who's liaison to what, depending on maybe what we feel like we're more comfortable with or have more background on. There are always many people involved, and all three commissioners have the final say, or at least a quorum of 2 to pass any budget, ordinance, or other county decision. I would like to share our mission statement. The Union County Board of Commissioners, as a body and individually elected officials, shall strive to provide the citizens of Union County cost-effective, professional, and courteous service within our budgeted funds, maximizing the use of all available dollars from state and federal sources. We shall fulfill those responsibilities assigned to us in the Constitution and the laws in the Constitution of the State of Oregon. We shall provide services in transparent, honest, and efficient manner. We will encourage public involvement and cooperation to identify present and future needs. We are dedicated to providing positive leadership and quality service. Thank you.
So with that, I guess I've got 2 questions that some Grange members came up with. And I'll ask the candidates, and we'll just go right down the row of the table here. And each of them will give us their answer on that. And then after I ask these 2 questions, we'll open it up to everybody. So the first is, what personal qualities or abilities differentiate you from your competitors and the remaining incumbent commissioner, which would be Jake Sievert, right? So he's the... So, in other words, what unique contribution will you make to the thinking and ideas around managing our county when you're on that board? So, we'll start with you. Yeah, please. Well, you could sit there and answer. I think Brent can get the voice on that.
Does that work? Okay, you got a thumbs up. What's unique about me? Well, I've never met any of them on a real personal level, so I don't know what's different about me compared to the rest of them. But I do think that right now, in particular, people are so divided and cannot even talk to someone on the other side, whatever that means. And I notice of my family and friends, I seem to be the person that it can and is willing to still talk to people that I disagree with. You know, I go on a trip every year with friends that are mostly our conservative friends, and you know, I'm more progressive, but I'm the only person that we can just sit around and banter and talk about politics, and everybody else is all so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, how can you talk? I'm like, how can we not? How are we going to get anything done? Or I just have good relationships with people. So the thing that makes me different is just that I like to talk to everybody. I like to learn from people that I disagree with, and I'm not big into confrontation or deciding someone's not worth it just because I don't agree with them.
Yeah, that is a hard question to differentiate. I feel like that because of my experience, I have a lot of relationships with people at the state and federal level. I know a lot of the history about things that have been done in the county before. No matter what issue comes up, I feel like I've shown in the past that I'm willing to listen to everybody, talk to everybody, represent all of Union County, and don't use politics to make my decisions. This is a nonpartisan position, and so really I feel like it's about watching your tax money, using it wisely, listening to what you have to say, and then working for you. Thank you.
Being married to someone that is a counselor, you feel like you're their lifelong project. And I think she's pretty good at it. I'm finally getting better at so many of the things that, you know, early on. She makes me aware of how I think, how other people think, and it has allowed me through my public service window to not look through a keyhole as much as, you know, see the entire picture. And when you understand things like neurodivergence and things like that, you understand that we have people that are very uniquely skilled at certain things, and understanding why that is a really key ingredient to me to figuring out what the overall answer should be. Trusting in that and understanding people at a philosophical level, at a mental level, personalities, generations, all of those ingredients come together to make a really solid foundation for me to build decisions from.
Okay, yeah. First of all, I want to say I think Corey's a good guy. Okay? We lived next to, had ground, I was on Cricket Flat, his family's on Cricket Flat, and I had to call and ask permission to go down to Miller's Flat to go fishing, you know, as a young boy. And, but I think what differentiates us is the path I've had in life of being involved in decision-making at a very high level. You know, the negotiating the state budget with the governor, it was Governor Kitzhaber back then, working on funding projects like the hospital in Enterprise or other water and sewer systems and so on and so forth. I understand how that works, and I'm willing to step up and offer you those services should you choose to accept them. If not, I've got a good life, you know, I really do. I mean, in the place that I love to live, we'll go off in the mountains and pack and camp out at lakes and do things and just live a good life. But if you choose to, I will offer you the benefit of the skills largely you paid for me to gain in the past, so.
For me, it's my leadership. Hey, Brent, let me know if I need to talk softer. My leadership skills and relationships. I've heard a couple of the people up on stage say, hey, 4 years is enough. They don't remember your name until you get reelected for your second term at the state capitol and the federal level at all. The relationships that I've built, I walk in the Capitol and everyone knows my name. I know all the legislators, know all the senators. I ran into a senator, Democrat senator, a couple of weeks ago. He says, hey, Matt, you should probably be a shoo-in. No one should be running against you. And I said, no, I have two opponents. But you got to be kidding me. What's wrong with Union County? And I said, I don't know, just, people want me out. By the way, I still haven't heard why I'm doing such a bad job and how they can do it better. And he tells me, he's just like, who's running against you? And I said the names, and he goes, don't know who either of them are. I said, well, one of them was a commissioner for 8 years. Just still don't know who it is. He goes, that's sad. He goes, you're one of the best commissioners I've seen. And this is a Democrat senator of our state. So relationship building and leadership, you have to be a leader. If you own businesses, you have a team behind you. You got to tell them how we're going to be successful in life, how we're going to get there. And I've gone through a lot of people that have gone on to be better and better, and careers through just being employed at the restaurants I own. And I'll stop there. Thank you.
So Matt, I take it that you're Republican because twice you mentioned a legislator that was a Democrat?
Oh, he likes me. Why would you think I wasn't?
Because you singled out a Democrat?
Well, yeah.
Just a reminder, all the county commissioner positions are nonpartisan, so, just like the Grange.
I get hammered from the Democrats, because they know what I am. And so I just wanted to say, hey, not all of them don't like me.
Very good. So for the second question, and we'll go in the reverse order, so we'll start with you, Mr. Scarfo. So what are the two most important specific goals, accomplishments you want to make as a county commissioner? What do you want to do specifically? Number one and number two, what are the most important things?
All right. We need a residential treatment facility here in Union County. I'm trying to raise $15 million. We have a group of some of the top people here in Union County. The sheriff's part of this group, opioid abatement group. We need help for behavioral health and mental health. So right now our jails and our hospitals are getting flooded with these people that need acute help, and they are not getting it in our jails and our hospitals because that's not what they're supposed to be doing. So we've sat with the committee, district attorneys on it, the sheriff's on it, chief of police is on it, CHD's on it, the hospital's on it, the court system's on it, and a couple other, the hospital, I think I mentioned the hospital, and we're trying to get $15 million. I think I can get $15 million, hopefully by the end of this year, but if not, definitely next year. The other thing is we need a new jail. I know the sheriff's here. If you guys have not taken a walk through our jail, I cannot believe we haven't been sued yet. It is unacceptable, and we really need to get something going on that. The sheriff and I have been working very, very hard on getting this because the people that are incarcerated in Union County Jail deserve better, even though if they're guilty or not. I don't care. So those top two things, behavioral health, mental health, and we need a new jail. I'll stand by that, 100%.
Hey, Mr. Simmons. Okay, I would like to work on skills training, marketable skills for high school kids, something they can take out. And I mentioned in my little 5-minute blurb, teaching them how to be structural firefighters. And it's quite a lot of training is required of that in Oregon to be able to do that. I'd like to work on finding a way to get some entry-level housing, workforce housing. I agree with Matt on the jail. It does need to be redone. We need to be creative in looking for sources of funding for that. And when I walk in the Capitol, they still call me Mr. Speaker. They don't remember my name, but they remember what I did, you know. And I don't really relish the place, quite frankly. But anyway, I'll leave it at that.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm going to echo a little bit of what these two have just said, because I got the privilege to take the jail tour this year with a grand jury. I wasn't on grand jury, but the jail commander said, yeah, please come and join us. And if anyone here hasn't done that, you know, figure out when the grand jury is doing it, work your way in. You will understand the need that they're speaking about. My wife works in the court system, and so I hear about it on a daily basis. She's in the pretrial side of things, and so it is very prevalent conversation at my house, and a lot of struggle. And our staff is doing everything they can, but it's not a staffing issue. This is a facilities issue, and it's a community-wide issue. Probably the second thing is going to also sound fairly familiar, but that relationship with EOU and workforce training And the industries and and jobs that we can create to keep our kids here to where they don't have to move to the valley. I'm really, really interested in this ag entrepreneurship. I am not a farmer. I am not a rancher. I come from farming and ranching. But after reading those scholarships, and they were so powerful with the hope that those kids had to go back to their communities with what they're learning here. And if our producers here can do even a fraction to help them with that journey, I think it'll be a mutually beneficial scenario for our county and for our kids.
A couple of things I would work on. After we finished selling the last lot of the industrial park, I really have a passion for small businesses, and what I've learned is we don't necessarily need some big business coming in here because we don't have the workforce for them, but we have many small businesses that are just looking to expand a small amount. It may be only 2 employees or 5 employees, but right now we're completely out of industrial land and commercial land in Union County. So having some zoning changes so that some of these businesses that are very important to Union County, they've been here for many years, we need to help retain them and keep them successful. And also that would include working with EOU and the schools on training, which many of the schools are doing training right now. In fact, Cove School is doing firefighting training, and LeGrand has CTE, and so that is really starting to take shape where they're partnering. But business retention and expansion would be my main goal. And then also excuse me, I'm nervous. The water issue that we worked on. Water is life, and if we don't have water, we have nothing. And we see Boardman area and Harney County and many other areas that they're having water problems, and it needs to be a 100-year plan that we put together here so that we're successful, so that our towns are successful. And I want to continue to work on that. It's something that we started, and I really want to continue to work on that. Thank you.
Sorry, excuse me. Well, I'm just starting to have conversations with the community about what they think we need. I just had a really great conversation the other day with a member of the Rural Engagement Rev. Yeah, I knew it was Rev, but I wanted to come up with all the names, and I just can't.
And Vitality.
Yes, Vitality. There you go. Thanks, Donna. And they were really focused on trying to get more childcare for the county, because it is a real problem for people coming in. You know, they come in and have a job but can't afford childcare. At our office, we actually have an office baby, which is one of our employees is allowed to bring her baby with her to work. And I'm sure not very many employers is that something they can offer. So we need to work on ways to increase childcare. With that meeting with Rev, they have worked with Paul Anders, the current commissioner of Position 1, on getting some funding for some different possibilities where maybe they can look at the Riveria Center and offer that up to multiple small child care providers to use as a center so they don't have to use their homes. We can try to give more recognition to child care providers so that they're not looked at as babysitters, because they are foundational to the economy, because if you can't have child care, you can't go to your job. So that, besides housing, which, housing and child care, they go hand in hand. If you need one, you need the other to be able to live here. So we need to increase the potential for those. I'd really like to see the urban growth boundary get get changed a little. I actually was in a meeting with the Renters Owners Association. Senator Nash came and talked with us, and he mentioned a bill that he's working on putting through to allow counties to look at just small portions of the urban growth boundary and being allowed to designate just like a 50-acre plot for housing, or even like a 5-acre plot. So there needs to be small options. You know, we don't need to, like Mark said, we don't want to be Bend, but we need to be able to grow. So yeah, my goals will be to talk to the community and figure out what you guys need, and then work to make that happen. But I know we need more childcare and more housing, so those will be the focus.
Very good. Well, thanks. I think they were great answers from all of you. I think you're all great options for us.